What's going on, guys? My name's Wade with Tech Daily. So as I've continued to add more and more tech to my new place over the last month or so, I've sort of come to the conclusion that I'll also need to do some of the boring adult stuff that comes with having my own place, like cleaning and vacuuming. But then I thought to myself, that sounds awful. I don't want to do that. So let's just get a robot vacuum instead, and I won't really have to worry about it. Fortunately, the folks over at Tenergy were kind enough to send over Otis, their fairly inexpensive robot vacuum that I've been using in my own apartment for the last couple of weeks. And I can promise you that I will likely never have a normal vacuum again after having this guy roam around. For about $160, Otis definitely does fall into that budget robot vacuum category, especially compared to the likes of Roomba, which sells some of their models for hundreds of dollars. Now, Otis doesn't have all of the features and capabilities of a $700 Roomba, but that's okay, because Otis does a damn good job at keeping my floors clean, and most importantly, I don't have to do it myself. Inside the box, Otis comes with all the necessary accessories and supplies you need, and setup is super simple. You'll see you get a bunch of extra rotating brushes, a spare HEPA air filter, the charging dock and cable, and the remote to control the robot. On the underside, you just have to install 2 of the included rotating brushes, and they just pop on and off easily so you can change them out as they get used up and wash them. You'll also see the main large vacuum opening where the dust and debris get sucked up with another rotating bristle brush, and one of the 3 wheels that Otis has to travel on. The other 2 wheels are what powers Otis. They're the larger rubber ones with tread in the back, and they have a decent amount of suspension travel for traversing over trimming and bumps in the floor and moving past obstacles. Under the hood, this baby packs the dust bin, which obviously is where all the crumbs and whatnot are stored after they're vacuumed up. It pops out easily, and you can see it's a pretty good size. You'll most likely have to dump it out and clean it after every couple vacuum cycles, but that's not too bad at all. And this is also where you'll find the HEPA air filter I mentioned earlier, which can also be changed out and replaced over time. The remote is how you control the robot vacuum, of course. There's no fancy app or anything like that, but it's very easy to just set the cleaning mode or direct the robot to vacuum up whatever you need. There's auto vacuuming, which has Otis travel in an S pattern, edge cleaning, where the vacuum goes along the walls, spot cleaning to focus on one particular area, and turbo mode for larger, heavier debris. There's a start and stop button directly on Otis too, and also an analog display that's used for setting a cleaning schedule, which I'll talk about in a second. And like most other robot vacuums, the charging base is Otis's home when it's not vacuuming the space. You can either place Otis directly on the charging base or simply press the home button on the remote, and Otis will go back to its base on its own. In my 1,100 square foot apartment, Otis can vacuum the whole place in a single charge, of course, and it takes between 4 and 5 hours to get back to a full charge from 0. Okay, so now on to the important part. How does Otis perform? In my opinion, the vacuum does a great job navigating the apartment and dodging obstacles while also doing an excellent job cleaning. Otis has a number of sensors that allow it to detect walls and furniture and generally just avoid colliding with them, and it also detects stairs, but it can still stay tight up against edges and around furniture without getting confused, caught up, or missing anything important. Generally, I'll have Otis on the standard cleaning mode, which means it'll travel up and down my whole apartment in a really tight S pattern. Otis will also travel in and out of different rooms, which is obviously important, and it generally does a good job traveling in a consistent pattern. For dedicated messes, the spot cleaning mode allows Otis to vacuum in a circular motion, gradually going wider and wider until the spot is cleaned, and the spot the vacuum hits is about 3 to 4 feet wide. Otis also does a nice job edge cleaning, traveling along the wall and up against furniture, basically getting the entire perimeter of the apartment. This mode does trip up Otis from time to time as it tries a little too hard to get under and around furniture, but all in all, it isn't that often that I have to come and save it. I personally only have hardwood and tile in my apartment, no carpet, but there's a few different bumps around the place that Otis does a nice job navigating over. And as far as the kinds of debris Otis can pick up, anything from fine powder to medium-sized crumbs to something as large as whole pieces of cereal, and none of that is a problem at all. I don't have any pets, so I can't comment on its ability to suck up mounds of pet hair, but my apartment does get very dusty, and Otis is able to suck up a majority of the fine dust and larger dust bunnies that collect in the corners of my rooms, under the bed and couch, and anywhere else in between. In all honesty, I do have a lot of tricky places in my apartment with different furniture, tight corners, unique room layouts, and slanted walls, but 90% of the time, I don't even have to worry about Otis missing much or getting stuck. Like I mentioned, Otis doesn't have an app or Wi-Fi capabilities that allow it to learn the space or set up a floor plan, but it doesn't really need all of that. I can set it to auto clean, leave the house for a couple of hours, and confidently know that Otis got the job done when I come back. back. If you really don't ever want to think about it, you can also set up Otis to automatically run during a certain time and certain day of the week. This is really handy, and I personally set Otis up to run late at night while I'm sleeping. With my bedroom door closed, I don't hear anything really, and when I wake up, Otis is there greeting me with a clean space. Most importantly, the collection bin is really easy to dump out and rinse, and Otis will even tell you when the bin is full if you happen to forget. Tenergy has a really solid product with Otis. I've seen reviews of other cheaper robot vacuums that don't do a great job of adequately cleaning, or that can't follow a certain pattern and end up going back and forth over the same spot for no reason. Otis is a great option if you don't want to spend hundreds of dollars on a Roomba, but still want to experience the ease of use of a robot vacuum, and I definitely recommend checking this one out if you're in the market. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think of Otis in the comments down below. Also, be sure to follow Tech Daily on Twitter and subscribe to the Tech Daily YouTube channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys later.